Hello everyone, welcome back to Train Sim World 3, and it's been a big week, hasn't it, if you've read the roadmap and saw last night's DTG roadmap stream. Lots and lots and lots of new stuff coming to Train Sim World 3. Some of it we don't have release dates for yet, but once it's on the roadmap, we know it's coming out pretty imminently, don't we, normally. One of those things actually is a new Class 37, which is, out of the whole list, this is the thing that piqued my interest the most, because you know I like a Class 37. I was super chuffed when the 37 first came into Train Sim World. And the new 37 that we're going to get is a 37-7 in this livery. Now, full disclaimer, on West Cornwall, which is where we are now, this is a 37/5, and this livery is from the Creators Club. And it's very good, and I thought, well, I'll get this, and we'll have a talk about the roadmap, and we'll run this one. We'll do a mail train on West Cornwall. So I will put down in the comments below, in the description, who it is who has submitted this livery to the Creators Club. Then if you want to go off and get that, you can get that for yourself. This is 37901, which I believe is a real 37 in this livery. But before we do any more talking, let's get everything set up and ready to go. We'll open some windows. It's a nice summer's day, isn't it? Get the route indicators on, instrument lights. What else have we got? The interior lights, cab light we don't need. Let's get our safety systems on. One thing that Rivet did, actually, you'll remember, for certain trains, specifically the freight trains, the brakes were set to the wrong setting, and sometimes when you first started out in this 37, the brakes were on, and you had to go to the back wall and switch the brake type to the correct one. That has been fixed with a patch that came out yesterday. This is the first time I've tried it, so we'll see. Let's get the master switch on. Where is it? It's hidden away, isn't it? There we go. Put it into forwards. I do believe we're ready to go. That's annoying. That going to the outside view puts me to the back of the train. That's very annoying. What we'll do when we get underway, we'll talk about the 37 first, seeing as that's what we're running, and then we'll have a quick look at the other stuff. This is an express. It's going to go 27 miles is our first go via. I wonder if the new 37 will have a better horn. It still sounds like a Casio keyboard, that, doesn't it? To be honest. Okay, let's get the brakes off, because that takes a while. And then we'll start to throttle up, and we will get out of here. West Cornwall actually has had some scenery improvements, because there is a steam pack, a rail tour pack coming into West Cornwall. So there's been some scenery improvements. I don't know specifically what those are, but we'll see if we can spot them along the way. Still some brakes coming off at the moment, but we'll make a start. Quite a distinctive livery, this one, isn't it? A very good, actually, very good representation of it here on Creators Club. Seems to be quite a popular version on Creators Club. You can see where the old number's just been scribbled out, but just ignore that. Cornwall is looking very nice. This is Penzance. Nice sunny morning, approaching 20 past 10 in the morning. So let's talk about the new 37 in this livery, which specifically is coming for southeastern high speed, as we're about to pass a class 150 waiting to come into the station there. So this all this that I'm going to read out is from the Dovetail Live article. If you go onto DTG's forums, you'll be able to get the article for yourself if you haven't already read it. But specifically for this 37, back in 2015, Southeastern began the 3-year refurbishment for the vast fleet of Class 375s. This overhaul, known as the SE refurb program, was to be undertaken at the original manufacturing plant of the units, Derby Litchurch Lane. However, to get the 375s to Derby, a solution was needed. Rail Operations Group is a railway company that specialises in the movement of rolling stock, be that the delivery of new units, taking old vehicles to scrapyards, or, in the case of the 375, to and from refurbishment. Traditionally, the dragging of multiple units necessitates the use of translator coaches and brake force wagons, as most locomotives cannot couple to units, nor make any use of the braking equipment. That all changed with the Rail Operations Group. Using Class 37 locomotives owned by Europheonix, whoops, as we go through a bridge. If I can find where I was up to now. ROG are able to drag units such as the Class 375, and there is the original Class 37 livery which comes with West Cornwall. They're able to drag units such as the 375 with no additional vehicles. This vastly improves the efficiency of movement operations. The Class 37s can be fitted with a delinear coupler adapter to attach to Class 375s and even control their braking, with additional in-cab equipment highlighting to the driver what step of braking the 375 is in. It's all quite interesting, isn't it, that? ROG operate a handful of these specially modified Class 37s, and we, DTG, have built 37800 and 37884, which, despite their names, are indeed categorised under the Class 37/7 subclass. 800 and 884 have been around the block, both celebrating their 60th birthday this year, and have worked throughout Wales, England and Scotland. They were even once sent to work in Spain. I can't imagine these working in Spain. It seems a bit hard to believe, doesn't it? But there you go. That's quite an interesting little fact. The unit drag moves powered by these 37s would happen on a weekly basis. 375s would be dragged back from refurbishment of a morning, and the same locomotive will then pick up another 375 to drag to Derby in the late afternoon. They became something of a rail community icon during the 3-year run. Local spotters would see them every week, and those of us who saw it remember it well. So that is quite a unique little task. Now it's on it's southeastern high speed, so obviously we're not going to be able to drag the 375s all the way to Derby, although Derby as a route is going to be released, isn't it? There's not going to be a link though between southeastern high speed and Derby, more's the pity, or else we could run the whole thing. But I'm looking forward to it because it's a new 37, and whilst I can run with this Creators Club livery right now, I'm looking forward to the real thing being released. Don't think there's a date yet for that, so we're still waiting, but I can wait. I love a 37. So lots to look forward to there, even just with that. So I want to tell you about some of the other stuff as well, because there's loads going on as we just come up to speed in the 37. So there is a Linker Rheinstrecke Mainz Koblenz. There's a preview of that actually on DTG's channel tomorrow, so I'm quite looking forward to that. I think Matt is driving that. That'll be one to look forward to, so that must be releasing very, very soon. There's also Niedertalbahn, which is developed by TSG. That is also coming soon. You know, I've seen the screenshots of that, and I'm very interested in it. It seems to be a very leisurely paced line, that one, and I am quite looking forward to it. I don't know if it's quite West Somerset. Is it the German version of West Somerset? I know on the road map stream they're also saying on that route that you're able to approach a level crossing, jump out, put the gates down, jump back in again, go across the level crossing and open the gates again, which is quite unique, isn't it? And also, just particular to that route, the AI will sound the horns as well. But Matt did say that that isn't coming to all the routes. That was specifically developed for that particular route, so it's particular to that. It's not a core feature, unfortunately. Then we got the Midland Main Line, which is developed by Skyhook Games. So let me tell you a little bit about the Midland Main Line, because I know a lot of you like the UK stuff. And I will just scroll down the article as I'm looking at it. So the Midland Main Line is Leicester, Derby and Nottingham. There's an interview on there actually with Skyhook, all about why they chose this particular route. But there was also some nice pictures of the BR Class 158 as well, in the East Midlands Trains livery, which is not a livery that I'm familiar with, but nice and colourful livery. And I'm trying to look just now what date that route is actually set in. 2019 it's set, which is quite nice. Now Skyhook, I think, they did Horseshoe Curve, didn't they? They've had some experience. Did they also do Cane Creek? I think Cane Creek could have been the one of the original ones that they did. And of course they're also famous for Lawn Mowing Simulator, which I quite enjoy, as you know. I dip in and out of Lawn Mowing Simulator, so that's Skyhook as well. So plenty of gaming experience there. Just looking down, you have 12 stations. They are Derby, Spondon, Long Eaton, East Midlands Parkway, Nottingham, Beeston, Attenborough, Loughborough, Barrow upon Soar. That's a great name, isn't it? Barrow upon Soar. In difference to Barrow in Furness, which is the one that I know quite well. Sileby, Syston, and Leicester. So that will be very nice. There's some landmarks along the way, such as Ratcliffe Power Station, Loughborough Brushworks, and the Red Hill Tunnel. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything other than the 158 that you get. You do get the HST. I'd forgotten about the HST. So yeah, so we have another chance to use the HST, which is quite nice, isn't it? So that is that one. I'm just looking down what else we've got to look forward to. So I already mentioned the West Cornwall, which is this route we're on now. The West Cornwall local steam rail tour. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Because this is the first time we've officially seen steam since Spirit of Steam, which is probably, is that coming up on a year now? When was that released? I'm trying to remember when that was released. Just gonna throttle back a little bit because we've got a 45 coming up. The steam rail tour is being released by Rivet, I believe. Let me just double check that. It is Rivet Games, because this is a Rivet route, of course, isn't it? This West Cornwall. And it does actually say that the West Cornwall Steam Rail Tour will arrive in Train Sim World this month. So that's good. There's something to look forward to if you do like your steam trains and you already own West Cornwall local. It says this pack will take you on a variety of steaming adventures on the West Cornwall local route. Expect challenging rides with the LMS Jubilee between Penzance and St Austell, which is what we're doing right now, in 2 all new liveries, crimson, red and black. And we've also retrofitted the LMS Jubilee with an AWS system. That's interesting, isn't it? A speedometer and an updated battery powered tail light replacing the old lanterns. Watch out for the custom headboards that you can toggle. That's really interesting, isn't it? So they've updated them to be able to run more modern day rail tours from the 1950s versions that we've got on Spirit of Steam. The hilly nature of our West Cornwall route will present you with a true challenge. You might want to have a look at our upcoming tips and tricks video on how to drive a steam locomotive properly. So that's an upcoming video. I haven't seen a link to that yet. so it must not have been released. So, included in this Steam pack are 5 scenarios and 4 services on the West Cornwall local. And it says, we also brought the LMS Jubilee to the Edinburgh-Glasgow route, which is quite interesting. So that's another recent release by River as well. So there's going to be some services there. It says there's a new rail tour service waiting for you with the Black Jubilee, as well as 2 new rail tours with the class 37/5, which is the 37 which comes with this route. So the best thing about it, the only add-on required is the West Cornwall local route, nothing else. Well, you will of course have to own Edinburgh-Glasgow, of course, to be able to run that. That's one important fact. And it says, oh, and if you're still in a festive mood, there's a festive scenario included with the coaches wrapped in Christmas lights. Both the red and black livery of the LMS Jubilee are also available in a festive theme, with a little extra surprise hidden in the cab that will make you feel even more festive. Right, I don't know what that is. I'm trying to look down the screenshots just to see, but I can't see what that is. But then we come to the local bundle that we mentioned. So we mentioned about the 37 that is coming. There's a bit of variety and operational interest coming to 3 routes. Those routes are the high speed, southeastern high speed. We talked about, that's the 37, Castle Würzburg, and Cajon Pass. So it says with local add-on bundle 1, we brought added variety and operational interest to each of the 3 routes. Seasonal leaf busting services were added to Southeastern High Speed, heritage traction was revived on Cajon Pass, and more night freight opportunities raced their way along Castle Würzburg. We wanted the opportunity to add yet another flavour to each route, with another trio of packs on the way. And welcome to local add-on bundle 2, which is the one that is coming now. First up, on the more modern scene on Cajon Pass, is the SD70 ACE, now sporting the iconic BNSF livery. Complementing the ES44C4, the SD70 ACE brings more 6-axle road power to the heaviest of trains, increasing variety and offering a different perspective of the stunning Californian scenery. And I believe that one was a highly requested loco, so it's nice that has been able to be put in. There it says, for Germany this time we're adding splashes of colour to the passenger scene. You can ride with pride aboard the railboat DB-BR 403 ICE3, with the pride flag running down the whole length of the train. The BR 403 number 402022, named Munchen, had its usual DB stripe replaced with this colourful rendition to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Railboat. So that's good. That's a new livery there for the ICE 3. But there's also something for the ICE1. So racing alongside the Railboat is a recreation of the ICE1, where in its own kind of the Deutschland Schnellste Kielmaschutzer green stripe, as featured previously on the IC3. Protecting the climate is an important goal of any industry, and the railway is no exception. Having been in service for decades, DB's ICE trains have always been progressive in that regard, transporting hundreds of passengers much more efficiently than other means. And again, go and check out the article on Dovetail's website, because there are screenshots of all these different liveries and locos that are coming as part of these packs. So there's so much stuff. Have I missed anything out? That's the key thing. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's such a massive article as well. I think we've covered everything. I think the other thing that I wanted to mention specifically as it affects me is, finally, in the last week we had the add-ons manager released for the PlayStation 5, and suddenly I have got everything back. For the first time using the PS5 version, I've got everything back in the UI. I can pick from any route, and I've got all the DLC that has come out for TSW so far. And honestly, I don't know where to start with it all. I just got so much stuff. There are routes on there that I've just not played with the PS5 version, which are now available. So Long Island Railroad, I haven't played in the PlayStation 5 version. I don't think I've played Oakville, and I don't even think that I have run the Peninsula Corridor whilst we've got the PS5, because like many of you, I've had to prioritise what I've got installed. So I've had to leave installed the main things that I like to play, which has been a real shame. And it's also, I'm going to admit it, it's took a little bit of the shine out of playing Train Sim World 3, because I can't just go and pick what I want. I've got to think ahead. I've got to remove something. I've got to add a new route back just so I can play it. And that's not really practical when all you want to do is a couple of services 1 week and you probably won't touch it again, you know, for another couple of weeks. It became very tedious. But all that aside, finally, the add-ons manager is here. Now, as well as providing access to all the content, it is also meant to improve performance. Now, I've got to admit, I haven't seen anything performance-wise on the PS5. It's always run pretty well for me. So you guys may have noticed something if you're on PS5. But the important thing about the add-ons manager is that it's soon going to be rolling out for other platforms as well, which is great. So any performance, you know, I'm assuming that as I'm on a next-gen system, performance is not as much of an issue. But if you're on the original Xbox, or if you're on PlayStation 4, the add-ons manager is going to make a massive difference. So I'll be looking forward to hearing your guys' feedback if you are playing on any of those systems. But it is rolling out. There's no dates yet. It's just on the PlayStation 5 at the moment. But performance aside, as I said, the biggest thing for me is just having everything available. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. It's great. Now, usually when I do that, some piece of scenery comes back and blocks me. But so that's it for this video. This train will trundle on and carry on to St Austell. There's quite a way to go yet, but if you want to play with this 37 in this livery early, then by all means get on the Creators Club and have a quick look. As I said, I will link it down in the description so you can pick up this actual one. So if you want to use this livery prior to it actually releasing, you can do. Some clever people on Creators Club, as I always say, and a lot of these things are already available. So give it a try, let me know what you think. Thanks everybody for watching, appreciate it. Check out DTG's article. Once you've done that, leave me a like on this video. Don't forget to subscribe. I am a DTG ambassador, so we've got plenty of content coming up. All the new releases will be covered if you want to come and check it out here first. If you're on the fence about what you might want to pick up or not pick up. Hopefully I can help you make a decision. As always, I know I do with many of you. Thank you for all the great feedback. Take care everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.